Usually the engines on my railway are usually very level-headed, but I remember one of them, called Old Stuck-Up, would always think that he was better than the rest. What's this steaming pile of scrap right next to me here? What do you mean, steaming pile of scrap? What I'm saying is that you should have been scrapped ages ago. You dinosaurs are so outdated compared to me, with technology that's so out of date that you're simply unreliable. Anyway, can't stop the chat. Toodaloo. What a jerk! Later that day, D576 was taking a museum exhibit. Coming through! Hey, you almost caused an accident. What do you mean I nearly caused an accident? You're the one who couldn't put on your brakes in time. I had right of way and you know that. Sorry, what's that? I can't hear you, dinosaur. Toodaloo. Hope that guy has an accident. Finally, back at the sheds. Oi, you! Get out of my shed spot! I need to get my oil changed right now. We don't even have a signed shed spot, and besides, there's literally an oil tank up at Mittsville. Just go there instead. I don't care. You're in my shed spot, and I want my oil changed. Now get out. Okay. Fine, I will. Old Stuck-Up didn't even need to get his oil changed that way, but he really doesn't care. All I have to do is just put on a strong voice, and I get whatever I want. When D576 got back to the shed, both he and Red both agreed that they had to pay our Old Stuck-Up somehow, but they just didn't know how to. He really is a pain in the butt, D5. And a rude one too, Red. We just don't know how to pay him out. Old Stuck-Up knew neither of them liked him, but he honestly couldn't have cared less. I really am the best, aren't I? Early the next morning, all the engines got ready to do their jobs. It had rained hard last night and all the rails were wet, so they had to be careful. One by one, all the engines got ready. Except for one, and I bet you know who that was. Thanks to all the upgrades that Old Stuck-Up had received over the years, he needed time to warm up every morning. Eventually, after what seemed like forever, they finally got him started. After another day's worth of causing trouble and misery to everyone he met, he set off home for the sheds. But when he got there, he found a surprise. All 3 shed spots were empty. If I manage to sneak into the sheds when nobody's here, that means I can claim my favorite spot and still get my oil changed. He then moved hard in the shed, but when he tried to brake, his wheel just slid along the wet rails. D576 and Red eventually came with a breakdown train, but first they decided to have a laugh at Old Stuck-Up's expense. Looks like Old Stuck-Up got himself stuck, eh, D5? You're right, Red. Doesn't he look silly stuck in there? Okay. Now we'll pull you out, Stuck-Up. Red then buffered up to Old Stuck-Up and when he did, he pulled and pulled with all his might. After much struggle, Old Stuck-Up was finally unstuck. Old Stuck-Up was quite a sight after his accident. His hand railings were barely hanging on, his engine had been completely wrecked, and it was missing a headlight. He looked comic. Red took Old Stuck-Up to the engine works the next day. Everyone was hoping that Old Stuck-Up had learned his lesson. But do you think he did?